All right, so welcome. Happy Thursday. Again, going over direct mailers today in Command. With that, we're going to create a postcard. We are also going to take a look at how to send that through Command. Um, we don't generally take a look at creating a custom template and doing it. We're going to look at the actual pre-made templates. However, if you're interested in creating a custom template and uploading that, we do have some videos that go over that in a little bit greater detail. Um, and I can link those below. So just let me know and we can drop those in. Today's class is recorded. If you need to slow down, rewind, or go back to something, feel free to check out our YouTube channel. All of our classes are uploaded there generally within 24 hours. Um, Sometimes a little bit longer or quicker. But again, you can find all of our classes as well as our weekly tip videos. So definitely a good place to come subscribe to. We do tip videos almost daily. Generally, they go over new things in Command, new updates and releases. So great place to stay up to date with the most recent things that Command can offer. The easiest way to find videos is by clicking on the videos button. That will give you the most recent uploads um, that you can take a look at. If you're searching for something, make sure you pay attention to that upload date. Sometimes it will give you something that's 3 years old as the first one, and you definitely probably want to find the most recent to make sure that you are uh, getting the most up-to-date information. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So for today's class, we do want to be in Command. If you're not sure how to log into Command, you're going to go to agent.kw.com. I did drop that in the chat just in case. And go ahead and log in. Now, keep in mind your username is not case sensitive. However, your password is. If you're running into any errors logging in, make sure that you check out the little eyeball to see your password. Make sure there's no spaces before or after. Those will prevent you from logging in. But once we're in here, the first thing that we want to take a look at is the marketing profile in Command. Now, the reason we want to take a look at the marketing profile is because some of the information in that profile will feed over to the postcards that we're going to be creating today. So that is the first thing. So to access your marketing profile, you want to click on your name in the top right corner. Click that little drop down. Now, once you click on that drop down, I want to make sure you're not clicking on my profile. So a little confusing. There is multiple profiles within Command. The marketing profile is primarily an internal profile. So that information is not going to feed to your website, to your marketing pieces, anything like that. We want to actually go into settings. And from there, we want to come to connect settings and the marketing profile. Now, this is the original Command profile. It's been around the longest. This profile is the one that's going to feed information over directly to your KW website, to your consumer app, as well as to various pieces of marketing that you can create within your Command platform. So that's the reason this profile is so important to keep up to date. First thing you want to do is make sure this green light is toggled on. If it's gray, that means that this information is not feeding over to those various places. So you would essentially not have a branded app or website. So it's super important to have that on. Next thing you want to make sure you have is a headshot. We do recommend it is the 360 by 360 size. The reason for that is if it's not, this specific picture can appear distorted, it can be stretched out, it can crop your head off, things like that. So make sure it's the 360 by 360. If you need help adjusting that to be the appropriate size, feel free to reach out to our support email and we can take a look at resizing that. The next thing you have is a team logo. Now, you won't always have a team. However, you do want to have a photo here. Not for today's class specifically, but there are some things within Command. If you don't have a logo there, you're going to see a broken image. For example, if you're creating an email campaign within Command, that logo is going to show up whether you have one or not, and it will look broken. So it'll look like a broken little square image. So important to have something. You can include a generic KW logo. We've also seen people put another headshot there. So it's kind of up to you how you want that to display, but definitely have something there. The next thing we have is your details. So you want to make sure that your name is included, your license information if you have it, job title. If you have a slogan or credentials, you can certainly add those. They're not required. Um, License number is not required. However, some pieces of marketing will give you an error if that's not included. So just make sure to add that. Next is your military affiliations. And then we have the bio. A bio is required. So you have to have something there. Most of you will have the generic KW logo to or KW bio to get started. But you can certainly update that to your own. You will need phone numbers, your email, and then your website is also one that's not required, but can give you an error if you're creating certain marketing. So definitely add that. If you have it, it is the full URL that you copy from the search bar. So make sure to grab that. There is no www required for the KW websites. So definitely don't include that. It will cause an error if you have a www there. Next is market center information. So you will want your logo and your brokerage office information. This logo, it is recommended 360 by 360. However, this one is special. It will adjust appropriately depending on what it's on. So you don't have to worry about that one, even though it appears a little bit distorted here. When it's on the marketing and other things, it will not look that way. It will look the right size. Next is compliance. If you have any of that that needs to be added, this is Market Center specific. So we would recommend reaching out to your broker in charge, compliance coordinator, someone in your office who can make sure that you are within compliance here. And lastly, we have your social media links. These are going to be your public facing URLs. So if you're logged in as yourself and trying to capture that link, you may not be able to see it when actually on your website or things like that. So make sure you're on the public facing site before you grab that full URL. And lastly is Google Analytics ID. Once we're all done with that, we do want to hit save. Again, marketing profile, not everything that we cover in this today is going to apply to the postcards, our direct mailers that we're creating. However, some of it, like the photos and brokerage information, will feed over to that postcard. So that's the reason this is important to have updated. Just going to check our chat, make sure there's no questions. Again, this video is recorded, so if you do need to slow down, pause, and follow along, that can certainly be done on our YouTube. If I am going a little fast, just do your best. We do want to make sure we get through all of the content. So if you see me skipping a question or something like that, I will come back to it. Let's move right along. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to head to campaigns. So campaigns looks like a little megaphone over here on the left side. If you're not familiar with these icons, you can hover over them. You can also hit the red and white KW to expand that bar and see what those are. Again, we're going to go to campaigns. That's where we're going to create our direct mailer for today. Now, once we're here, we are in our campaigns dashboard. You'll notice within campaigns, you can create a few different types of campaigns, paid ads, emails, direct mail, and social posts. We're going to focus on the direct mail for today. However, we do have classes on the others that you can certainly check out if you're interested in any of those. We're going to take a look at the direct mail dashboard before we jump in. Now, once we're in this, you're going to see that we have how many we've sent month to date, how many recipients, leads, and how much money we've spent. You can also search for any direct mailers that you've previously created. You can look through mailed, drafts, or archived, or you can view all of them, which is what I have mine on. You can adjust it based on the goal. So for every postcard that you create or direct mailer you create, you're going to set a specific goal for what the purpose of your postcard is. So you can filter based on that specific goal if you're looking for something. And then below we have our overview, which is the name of the postcard we've created, a quick little preview of the image, the status of that. So if it's in draft, if it's mailed, etc. The date that it was created, the date that that was sent out on, how many leads, how many recipients, and then we have the goal. Now you also have the three little dots over here where you can click on that, and you can either edit if it's still in draft mode. You can duplicate that and create a new one. You can also archive that and just clear it out. You'd still be able to access it under archived. It just won't appear here on the main one. Moving right along, we're going to go ahead and hit create a campaign. Now, once we create a campaign, we're not just in direct mailers, we are in campaigns. So it's going to ask us what type of campaign we're creating. And again, we're focusing on direct mail. That is a postcard. It is mailed directly to the homes. So there's nothing else you have to do other than create it and send it. So we're going to go ahead and click that one. Now from there, we do need to create a name for the campaign. Now I'm just going to do May 23rd, and we'll do 2024. Now we have to decide what our goal is. So what type of postcard are we creating? What information are we sending out? Are we sending out something to our database that is going to be about an upcoming event or a holiday or something like that? Or are we advertising a listing or an open house or something like that? So be clear on what you're creating before you jump in and select your goal accordingly. Now for this one today, we are going to advertise a listing. So that's what I'm going to select. Now from there, we just go ahead and hit create. And then once we hit create, because I said that we are advertising a listing, it's going to allow me to search for the property address that I am advertising. So the easiest way would be to search by the MLS number if you have it. If you don't, you can certainly search by the property address or the listing agent. Keep in mind, it is set to only show my listings at the current time. I don't have any listings. I am not a licensed agent, so I need to switch this to show all listings. So if you are advertising someone else's listing and you have received permission to do so, and you're following your compliance, you can switch that and search for the specific property you are looking for. I'm going to search by property address because I just have one kind of handy right here. So we are going to search this one here. And it's and actually, this is not the one I was looking for. Let's see if I can type out the rest. And this is why searching with the MLS is going to be much faster. When you are searching by property address, it's going to be pulling every MLS. So it may be a little bit harder to find the specific property you're looking for. I'm just going to use one of these. I'm not going to keep searching because I don't want to waste too much time. So we're just going to go with this one right here and hit select. Now, once we've done that, I can still go back and change the listing if I need to. But I can also just keep going. So once we're here, we have our preview on the right-hand side, so we can view the front and the back. And we can, once we've selected our listing, we can go ahead and take a look at the content. So this is going to allow us to select the specific template we want to use. Again, we're not uploading a custom template today. If we were doing that, we would need to resize it. And it's just a little more time consuming. We do have some videos that go over that though, if you're interested, but we are going to take a look at the pre-made templates. So basically it's pulling in the information I'm putting and it's creating the postcard for me. Now I still have some flexibility with the design. Before I show you the different designs though, I'm going to go ahead and select my listing photo. It just gives you a better way to view the postcard. So if we come down a little bit, we have the listing images. Now you'll notice that they have a little low resolution button. Um, the reason for that being is that these images are going from the MLS to KWLS and then from KWLS to the editor, which we're in. So they're losing a little bit of their quality as they're going through all of those different platforms. You can certainly upload your own photo if this is your listing and you have the permission to do so. Otherwise, you can certainly use one of these. Just keep in mind, it may impact the quality a little bit. As you can see on this one, I still think it looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and go with it. Now, once I've selected that photo, you can see it immediately puts it in my preview. And then from there, we can take a look at the different templates. So we have the compact template, which it's currently on. We have the default, which is going to be a 6x9. Just looks a little bit different. The back looks a little different as well. We can also check out the large template modern. That's a 6x11. Little different again. And then we also have the large template contemporary, which is also a 6x11. So just determine what size you want to send, which one you like visually, and you can go ahead and go with that. I'm going to stick with the default 6x9 today, and we'll go ahead and continue moving on with that one. So front and back. Now that we've added our photo and selected our template, we can go ahead and check out our listing details. So from there, again, it's going to be pulling a lot of that information from the listing information that we put in for the address. But you do definitely want to make sure that everything is accurate, it's pulling correctly, all of that. Now we also get to select the listing status. So we could say just listed, just sold, coming soon. I'm going to do just listed. And as you can see, it puts that on there. Again, if you don't like this postcard, you can certainly switch it to the other one. It says just listed down here instead. Same for this one over here. And then this one down here. So all a preference there. Now moving along, as you can see, it's also pulling the entire description from the MLS. Now I'm way over the character limit, so I'm going to have to seriously cut this down. I'm not going to read through it. I'm just going to chop some of it off until we get to the correct length. So we're at 587. Now that description is going to the back of the postcard. So if we switch over, that's going to be right here. Now you can certainly edit that to say whatever you'd like. You can leave the listing description, modify it, however you want that to be sent out. From there, again, if you don't like the photo, you can swap that. You can also upload one straight from your computer. Once we're all done and we verified the listing information, there's a lot of photos on this one. There we go. Now, once we are done with that, we're going to take a look at our agent information. So as you can see, this is where that marketing profile comes into play. It's pulling my agent photo. I can certainly still upload or replace or crop that here. However, it's just a little faster if it's already in your marketing profile to pull that over. We also have our name and email polling as well as the phone number. The only thing with the phone number is you're going to want to click into that box and hit the space bar so that it populates the phone number correctly. For whatever reason, it doesn't pull that in the exact same way. Now, once we're all done and everything has been included, we can go ahead and hit save. Now from there, you'll see we get a green check mark on our content box. We can still go back and make any edits. The agent information is, of course, displayed on the bottom in the back of the card. Now next we have the Market Center information. Again, pulling that logo directly from the marketing profile. You could still add, edit, adjust, but it's going to pull all of that in there. The only thing you'll have to adjust with the address is that on the marketing profile, the city, state, and zip code is all within one field. So you do need to come in here and add the other pieces of information, the city and the state and the zip code, and then verify. It will have you, it will give you the correct or recommended address, and you can go ahead and confirm. And once we're done, again, gives us the green check mark, plugs that information in over here, and we are all set. Now, the next one is our targeting. So this is going to be based on the property address. Of course, you can certainly change that. You also have the option here, if you were sending something out to your database, you can go ahead and use the Target My Database. So this is great if you have a client event, if you're just sending out a holiday postcard, whatever that might be. If you're looking for referrals and you're trying to get them through your database, this would be a great place to come and upload your own custom postcard to send that to your database. And targeting your database will just allow you to add contacts. You can search by tags, or you could just click on specific people. Now, as you can see, mine is not allowing me to select any. I have 0 contacts, even though they're showing. None of these have an address. So unfortunately, I do have to have an address there in order to send them a card. Contact's primary address will be used if mailing address is not available. So keep that in mind if you're not seeing an option to click on any of those. Back to our local targeting though. We're going to go ahead and hit save. Now our next thing is the budget. This is where we get to determine how many cards we want to send or how much money we want to spend. So this is totally up to you. Let's say I want to send out 250. I'm spending an estimate of $230. They're 92 cents per card. I can also do first class for their 97 cents per card. So definitely whatever you want to do there. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys before we go over to the targeting, which is where we'll actually break down the who we're sending it to. I want to show this QR code down here. So this is a great way to figure out who is getting your card, and they can actually scan that QR code. And if they input their information, they can, that's a great way for them to funnel into your command and for you to actually capture that lead. So once you turn on the tracking, you do need to decide where you want them to go to when they scan that QR code. So you could use your branded app if you want them to download your app and sign up. You could use your website, or if you have a specific landing page or open house sign-in sheet for that specific property, you can certainly funnel them to that so you can hopefully capture their information. So up to you here. Once you select one, it's going to plug in a little QR code on the postcard itself, giving you a way to capture their information. So again, you get to decide that, whatever page you want to use. And then once you're done, we're going to go ahead and go to configure targeting. And then it is connecting to real mailers. That is who we actually send our postcards through, is real mailers. So it's going to switch over to that just in a second. I'm going to take a look at the chat while it is loading. Chris, if you need me to go back to the targeting again, just let me know. It's just pulling the address. This is where you're going to actually configure your targeting. So this may be what you're looking for. And then Crystal, this is going to also answer your question. This is going to let you to get very specific on who is receiving those postcards. So it is targeting the area around the house. So it does have that listing address, and it's pulling the surrounding area. Now from there, we get to get very precise. As you can see, all of these blue dots are homes that it's going to send those postcards to. So if we don't want to send out that many and we want to be more localized and more close to that surrounding property, we certainly can. You can change the number of homes, so the number of cards that you're sending. You can also determine who's receiving those based on all of this criteria. So if we want to target single family homes, or if we want to target multifamily homes, we can certainly adjust that. It is going to change those dots on the map. So as you can see, it is getting a little bit bigger. There's a lot less dots, but the reason for that being is if you hover over one of these, and that one's not, see if I can find a good one. Most of these will, if they're multiple units, it will tell you how many units. Let's see if we can find one. Most of these are just saying, 150 through whatever. So they may not be actual, this one does. So as you can see, it says 5 units. So that's the reason there's a lot less dots is because they are multifamily. So it's sending to what looks like less people, but there's more people within the specific dot. Now, as you can see, it did also tell me there are only 71 homes in this area that match my criteria. So it's not going to be sending the full 250. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go back and target the single family a little bit easier. Now with doing this, you can also remove specific addresses. So if you notice one that you do not want mailed to, you can remove that. It will give you a little gray dot. So if you do it on accident, you can still go back and restore it. But then moving on, you can also adjust based on how many bedrooms a home has, how much square footage the home has, the year the home was built, the last time the home was sold, and the last sold for amount. So you can get very specific as to who these postcards are mailing to. And as you can see, it keeps making that circle a little bit bigger. So I can certainly adjust that. Also come down if you're trying to target a closer area to the property. So again, all super customizable. You can also draw a radius on here and target homes within that area. This is where you get to get very specific though. Now again, we have the postage here. If I want to send myself a copy, so if I want to receive a physical copy of the postcard that I'm having mailed, it is going to charge me. So as you can see, it did jump up 92 cents when I click that, but I can certainly send one. It's going to go to the office address. So as you can see, it goes to the Market Center office. And then once I have this exactly how I want it, I have the properties that I'm interested in, I can go ahead and hit next. Now from there, it's going to give me a preview of that postcard. I can also view that on a larger scale. This will allow you to just check out that image a little bit closer. Again, with the low resolution, sometimes you want to take a closer look at that. Again, I think it looks great, so I'm not super worried about it, but I'm not actually mailing this. So take a look at this. I can check out the QR code, make sure that works, everything like that. And once I'm okay with that, I can come back and go ahead and go through the rest of this. Now, a couple of questions that we get with this, especially on the targeting of specific homes, there is no way to download or export those homes that this is going to. That's the reason I really emphasize using the QR code as a great way to track people or see who is getting that. Because there is no way to download those addresses. There is no contact name associated with the properties. So there's no real way to capture those leads without the QR code, in my opinion, because it's going to go to current resident. It's not going to have a name associated with the property. So just keep that in mind. Once we're done though, we have the order summary. So how many we're getting. I have 101 at 92 cents each, so 92 and 92. The postage is included with that, and the order total 92.92. Now, there is no middleman on this. These postcards go to the homes. You're not getting them and then mailing them out. They are just simply created and mailed out. Now, with that, there is some processing to keep in mind. So I like to just read through this. Same day processing. So if you're submitting an order before 3 p.m. on a business day, your mailers are going to go into production that same day at a local fulfillment center. Now after that UPS distribution, your cards are going to be inserted into the USPS mail stream within 2 business days of that. And then the estimated delivery, your mailers are going to arrive in mailboxes at the targeted recipients within 7 to 14 business days. Once the order is submitted, and then you'll be provided, I can't see it, but you'll be provided with a more, it's not gonna let me view that. It'll give you a more exact time frame once that's submitted. So keep that in mind when you're mailing these. If you're trying to get them out before an event or something like that, you do want to make sure you're getting them processed and sent out in a timely fashion. Now, with that being said, you can also schedule these. So if you're creating something and you want to schedule it for later, you can select the schedule date. Now, keep in mind, that is when they go into the processing, not when they're going to be sent out. So if you're setting that date, that's when they're going to start creating them. You're still going to have to keep that time frame in mind. And then from there, it will allow you to put in your information, your card information, and go ahead and make payment. And that is the pre-made template. I'm just going to take a quick look at the questions, if there are any. Let's see. If you are, we can take a look at that too. If you're trying to find listings, I believe that's one of the categories. So if you're attracting listings, oops, so it's 23rd. So as you can see, when you do it that way, it's not asking you to select a listing. You're going to be creating your own, in a sense, template. So you'll upload a photo. It's not going to pull from a specific listing. So this is one of those cases you can use the pre-made template if you have a photo you'd like to use, or you can upload a custom template. This is where you would select your address yourself. So if you're trying to farm a specific neighborhood to attract listings, you would do it that way. So you get to pick the address. That's a great question, though. So I usually go through how to send one to your database. Since we kind of covered that on the last one, if anyone has something specific they would like to see created for this, or if you'd like me to go through uploading a custom template, we do have time. So why don't you let me know what you guys are more interested in seeing? Because most of these that are pre-made are going to be very simple. They're very to the point. So there's not a lot to them. Custom template. So if you're looking to add a specific QR code on the front, you would want to create a custom template and add that. There's no way to add this QR to the front. This only goes to the back. Yeah, let's take a look. Let me get my Canva pulled up. Looks like a lot of people want to see the custom one. So I have done this before, and I actually have a sample made for a just sold. Now, again, you can do this for any that you would like. And actually, this may not be the one I was looking at. One second here. Here we go. All right. So this is going to be a custom template that I've created inside of Canva. It is a just sold. Again, it's not super pretty. I just did this for a class, so I didn't spend a ton of time on it. But this is where if you were wanting to add a QR, you could go ahead and add one here for whatever website you're looking to have them directed to. You do have to have a URL in order to create a QR code. It does have to have somewhere to direct them to, but you can certainly add a QR code on the front here and have them directed to that. This again is already set to my sizes. So this is super easy because in Canva, you can set your custom size. So for example, we'll just go back for 1 second, and I apologize if we're jumping around just a little bit. For this, you can create a design and customize your size. So this is where these sizes on the content is going to come into play. So you want to make sure when you're uploading a custom template, you are following these sizes. Otherwise, you're going to run into some issues with uploading that. So as you can see, mine is already set to 1875 by 1275. So I am on this 6x9 right here. Again, if you're resizing one, you can certainly use Canva to resize it. That is how I generally do mine. I would create the custom size and upload my photo from Canva or not from Canva, from Command. If I created one in Command, I can drag it in here to make it the perfect size and then upload it. It's a little extra work, but I feel like it works perfectly. But if you do create it in Canva, you can simply download this. I'm going to do it as a PNG. I'm going to do them separately. It's just a little faster in my opinion. And then once I come back into Command, I should be able to just grab those. And as you can see, since they were the perfect size in Canva, there is no resizing needed. They're already the sizes that are recommended. So I am simply downloading and uploading to add those. So in my opinion, if you are creating a custom template, definitely the way to go is in Canva. Just set that custom size to be whatever template size you want and create your design that way. But once we're done with that, again, we're all good here. We can go ahead and hit save. We can do the same thing for our market center. Oops. And I know I didn't create this design today, but if you guys have any questions on any of that, please let me know. Since I did already have that one created, it made it a little bit faster. But then here we select our specific area. To make this easy, I'm going to type in the office address on my profile. Oops, keep doing that. Save. And then I've already set the budget. I can leave that or change that. Once I go to configuring, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to allow me to customize who this is being sent to and all of that. So very similar process. Travis, it's kicking you out when you're syncing. Are you trying to pull in a specific listing that's yours? But again, once we're done with this, I configure my targeting. I have my preview. Everything is good. Again, if I had a QR code on the front, that could stay there. Go ahead and make my payment. And we're all done with that. So that is our custom template. I'm going to go ahead and stop record just that way if there are any additional questions. If no one has any questions, we are done with the most of our content today, so feel free to jump off. But if you have questions, stick around, hang out. We'll get through some of those.